Hello and welcome to Content Creation with Cardinal, Chickadee, and Hummingbird. Beautiful picture in the front of the Bird Feeder book. Now you may be wondering, what on earth am I talking about? Especially if this is your first time here. If it is, and you're interested in books, nature, and silly cats, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you know when I upload content that may be of interest to you. Now, as far as creating with the 3 birds that I mentioned, I've also talked about my interest in working with animal guides. Although a number of the books that I have refer to them as totems, I prefer the word guides. And the reason that I've picked those 3 particular birds, 1, they're in my particular area, and 2, because I have been working with animal guides for decades, I also know when I see them, they're sending me particular messages. So when I see cardinal, I know it's time to focus on being creative. Now, when I say see cardinal, I see them all the time, but it's a combination of when I'm having thoughts of what should I be doing, what's going on, yada yada, and then I see cardinal, that's a clue. It's time to get creative, whether that's doing some of my coloring or knitting or craft projects. When I see chickadee, that's a reminder to be joyful and truthful, sharing what you want to share in a positive and productive way. When I see hummingbird, hummingbird is about peace and joy. No harsh words, no venting or spewing out, but being positive about what it is you want to share. And recently there have been a number of things going on. All 3 of those birds have had significance lately. So I decided to share about focusing on that with content. It's why here I don't do clickbait titles. My titles are always clear and concise about what's coming up in the video. My thumbnails, I try to feature what I'm showing or what I'm going to talk about. As far as the content itself, I try to stay positive, share my viewpoints, whether that's about the books that I'm reading, what's going on in my yard, and talking about the various plants and visitors that we have. Then, of course, I have my silly cats that require no explanation. So you may be wondering, how does all this animal guide stuff tie in with a channel that is about mostly books? Again, if you've been here for a while, you know I have books for that. If you're interested in working with animal guides, and I've mentioned this book before, Animal Speak by Ted Andrews. It's an amazing reference. I've been using it for decades. Whether you're interested in working with birds, mammals, insects, he has different sections that include a lot of helpful points and tips to get you started. Medicine cards, I've been working with for probably close to 30 years. So as they say, it's been a minute. I enjoy this particular deck. They've always been helpful. In the book, you'll find descriptions of the various animals that they feature, points to remember, and in this particular book, they have whether you pull the card right side up or upside down, which they call contrary, and it's helpful to read, I find, both parts of the information. The authors of the medicine cards also put together a guided journal for medicine cards, making medicine. In the workbook, you have a picture of the symbol that's on the card, a brief description. In the book, you have lots of space to write about your personal experience with the different animals. And yes, I really do need to make jot notes in there. I make notes in my other journal about when I've seen them, the information, all of that. I also have this small notebook, which I've called my nature notes. And in there, I try to remember to make note of how the plants are doing throughout my yard, who the different visitors are. And I love making note of how many different new visitors there are, because each year there's something to discover, whether it's a new species of butterfly, new species of insects, the birds change over time. I was lucky a number of years ago, I'd seen some little, I think they're blue buntings, but I'd only seen them once, and I was so lucky to have my camera with me on that particular day. There's grosbeaks that come through, but only for a few days. There are other birds that are here regularly. We have crows and turkey vultures and a number of other critters. A possum comes by now and again. Regularly, we have raccoons and skunks, and the populations are always changing. So it's really good to pay attention to what's in your area. That ties into another book that I've read years ago. This is New Paths to Animal Totems. This is by Lupa. 3 alternative approaches to creating your own totemism. Now again, I prefer the word guides. I do enjoy this book because she does talk about learning about what's in your area, what do you regularly see, and paying attention when what you're seeing is trying to give you a message. Again, it doesn't mean every time you see hummingbird, it means that you're being too harsh with your language. Or every time that you see cardinal, it means you need to get more creative. There's a lot more to working with guides than that. And it's hard to explain without having an interactive conversation. But let me know in the comments down below. Am I making sense? Do you work with animal guides, and do you find it helpful to really pay attention to what's going on around you, and are the birds and other visitors giving you amazing guideposts to help you in your life's journey? Another card deck that I found helpful is Animal Messages. This is by Susie Green. Seek inspiration from your animal guides. And I love that terminology. It's the one I stick with. And in her case, I really appreciate that she breaks down the animals by where they are. So we have creatures of the air, arboreal creatures, so the trees, the earth dwellers, the walkers between worlds, so they are water and earth, water denizens, and the land creatures. And for each, she also gives ideas for different layouts, so how you can use the cards and get guidance. And of course, I opened the page on spider, one of the things that creeps me out. She provides a short bit of information. Let's start with spider, since that's the page it opened up on. Travel will open up new possibilities and one special connection. And then she talks a little bit more about spider and things to pay attention to, as she does with all the different animals. That also is a really fun deck to work with. I've used a number of times. Another great find, and this was at Indigo, where I also found animal messages in the discount section, so that was a plus. This is Bird Messages, Discover Wisdom from Your Bird Guides. And this again is by Susie Green. So the same author, so I knew I would enjoy the beautiful artwork on the cards as well as the helpful information she provides. Again, she gives different ideas for layouts and the information that you're trying to get. Then same as the other book, we have a short description on each card. So here, let's go with Harris Hawk. Renew the bonds of true friendship and remember their importance. And then she goes on to talk a bit more about Harris Hawk. Again, two great oracle decks and great ways to get tips and clues on how to move forward with your life path, and helpful tips on what kind of layouts to use that will be the most benefit to you. Two other books that I want to mention. This also is by Susie Green. Teachings from Our Animal Spirit Guides. Harness the power of animals to liberate your spirit. So you could use this, of course, in combination with the Oracle deck. You could simply open up the page, see what you get, or maybe you've seen something consistently when you've been having thoughts about what are the next steps, what's going on in your life, that type of thing, and use this book to look up information about that particular animal or creature. Next, and I also need to read through this one, this is Healing Animals. The illustrations are by Gada Angrida. This is written by Federica, Zizzari, Kikosmica. Hope I've said that right. Wolves, foxes, owls, and other wild archetypal animals that inhabit our psyche. So this will connect in with archetypes as well as animal guides. So I need to move this into my box of to read soon books. One more book that I definitely want to mention is Spirit of the Wolf. Has a gorgeous cover, the wolves, a full moon. If you've been here before, you know I definitely love lunar moon things. I need to do my update video about my lunar oracle cards that I've been using for the last few months. But this is Channeling the Transformative Power of Lupine Energy. Art by Antonia Nursev. Words by Linda Starr-Wolf with Casey Piscitelli. As you go through, there are different exercises to do. I love wolves. They've been around everywhere for as long as I can remember. Not as in the actual wolves, but they come up in my books, in artwork, in a number of other things, as do the dragons. This book has amazing illustrations and a lot of great and helpful information, and it's something to work through. The artwork alone is worth picking up this book for. It is just truly stunning. Let me know in the comments down below, did you find something helpful in this video? Do you work with animal guides? Are there books that you can recommend and suggest to learn more about that type of work? If you're still here, thank you so much for watching. You can leave me a little bird emoji in the comments down below. And until next time, remember, pay attention to everything that's going on around you. Nature may have some special messages that they're trying to get to you. Be well, be safe, and big hugs.